In today's video, we'll be continuing our understanding of two-step experiments for probability. We'll start with question 7. The weather this weekend will be either fine or raining each day, with each outcome being equally likely. So it's only just these two things that can happen. For part A, draw a tree diagram to show the possible outcomes for Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so to start this off, you know there's only two options for Saturday, which is fine or rain. And when we draw our tree diagram, you should draw as wide as possible first, like that. Okay, so space it apart, and then write F for fine, R for raining. Then what we can do afterwards is, because we've completed what happens for Saturday, now we've got to find out what happens for Sunday. Okay, so we've now split that apart so that we branch out to fine and raining as our options for Sunday, and we do that same thing to this bottom part, where on Saturday it's raining, and then on Sunday it could either be fine or raining. Okay, so for part B now, that was part A. For part A, what is the probability that it is fine on both days? Well, if we have a look at our possible outcomes, right, which I haven't actually written, it could be fine and fine, fine then raining, raining then fine, or raining then raining. And each of these are equal in probability, okay? This is only okay if each of these are equal in probability as well. So the chance of it being fine and raining each day is equally likely. So if that happens, that means the probability of it being fine on both days, such as this one, it is 1 out of the 4 choices here. So it's 1/4 being the answer. Okay, so just reminding you that only occurs when each of these branches, okay, are equally likely, meaning the branch here to get an F and branch here gets an R, which is raining, is the same. Now let's do part 2. What is the probability that Saturday is fine and rains on Sunday? So Saturday is fine and it rains on Sunday. So there we go. So we're looking at that one, and that is also 1 out of the 4 possible outcomes here. So write 1 out of 4. And then for part 3, find the probability that it rains on at least one day of the weekend. So all you need to do is look for all the branches from the very beginning to the end that have an R. So that's one of them. This is another one, and this is another one. So we'll look at these 3, and that will be 3/4. Okay, let's now move on to the next question. In question 10, while staying at a hotel, John Paul can choose one item from each course of a breakfast menu. So we're looking at the first course being cereal, raisin, watermelon, and yogurt. And then our second course, bacon, eggs, pancakes, sausages, and hash browns. All right. So now that we have our first course and second course, find all the different 2-course preferences available by listing them. The way you do this is by selecting the first option for the first course, and then followed up by each of the items in the second course. Okay, so pair up the cereal with both the bacon, eggs, pancakes, sausages, and hash browns, but use the letters at the ends, and also C for cereal. So we say C first. Okay, so we'll pair up C with B, then we'll pair up C with P, then C with S. And then we do the same thing for the next option for our first course. So we now choose our raisin toast and pair that up with these 3. So now we'll have RB, then RP, then RS. And just do the same thing for W. So that will be WB, WP, WS, then finally a yogurt with each 3 of those. And you'll basically get 3 by 4 results, which is 12 results altogether, and that's by listing them. Now, as for your tree diagram, okay, now that you listed them once and you know there's 12 results, that's going to be a lot. So our tree diagram is going to be pretty large, right? So let me just draw that down here. Okay, so with our tree diagram, part 2, okay, I'm just going to spread this out. So you know that there's going to be 4 options, right? At the very beginning. Then 3 options for the second one. Okay, there we go. So we'll label this as our first course, and we can choose from cereal, raisin toast, watermelon, and yogurt. And then as for our second course, you know that this branches out to 3 things. And this will be B, P, and S. So our bacon and eggs, pancakes, sausage and hash browns. And we do the same thing for each of those. So I'm going to write B, P, and S once again. And then you keep doing it. Notice how I just have enough space. And this is all because I have written all these things here and branched it out so that there is space. Don't crowd around those lines like this. Ensure that the first lines are as wide as possible, then draw the lines in the middle. Okay, and evenly space them out. That's how I would draw it. Okay, so now that we have a tree diagram, we should list these out as our outcomes. So we've got CB, CP, CS, then RB, RP, then RS, then WB, WP, and WS, and YB, YP, and YS. So we've got 12 combinations so far, and for part B now, it says to find out this. If one of the combinations is chosen at random, find the probability that it includes raisin toast or bacon eggs. So this means includes either R or B or both. So let's have a look at which one includes R or B. So the first one doesn't. Okay, I'm just going to put a cross next to that. We don't want that. Nope. Nope. Okay, we got R and B here. We got R there, R there. We got B here. We don't include this, we don't include this. And we don't include any of these ones. So how many do we have now all together? We've got 4 of them. Okay. Oh, but you know what? I haven't counted this one. YB. Oh, and then you know what? CB. We haven't counted that either. Okay, so it's actually not 4 of them, it's actually 6 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in total, there are 6 out of the 12, which includes raisin toast or bacon eggs. So that is half.